Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diamond Moment. I'm your host, Luciana Cordero, and today I'm here with Gaelen. Hi, Gaelen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your trajectory as a fighter. So, I wanted to know what can you tell me about how you got into martial arts and how long you have been competing for?
I started in jiu-jitsu when I was young, about 6, maybe 7 years old, and then I did that up until I was about 17. I joined the army, got out of it, and I got really, really fat. And my mom was like, "Let's go do kickboxing," and I was like, "Sure." And then one thing led to another. I wound up joining a gym and just deciding to fight. That's pretty much it.
And so, how long have you been in competition?
I've been competing for about 5 years now. I started right somewhere during COVID. So about 2019, yeah.
Nice. And um, what different types of, you told me already that you've trained in a couple of different martial arts, but like how many different types of martial arts do you know? And how valuable do you think it is to gain skills from different types of combat sports?
I trained in three. I did jujitsu and then I did a little bit of boxing and wound up settling on kickboxing, Muay Thai. It is important to cross train because to me, you learn different things from different sports, obviously. And then also you can learn to employ those techniques into those other sports, and it creates a different layer to how you fight and how you think when you fight and train.
Yeah, and you've already been part of the sport for some years now. And do you feel like you've had a good support system behind you in your career? Or maybe you have a mentor or someone that you can look up to when it comes to fighting?
Yeah, yeah. My whole gym, all of my guys, all the guys that I train with, my coach, Eric Marshall, he's been a really big influence in what I've been doing and like how I do it and how I train. Um, I really just look up to him. He's the only one I really can because everyone else like it's weird. I don't know how to describe it. He's a really good role model for the sport.
I know that you said that you don't really know how to explain it, but in what way do you feel like it could be weird?
Um, it's just hard to talk about because there's so many different like people out there that I look at and I kind of learn from. So even the older Thai practitioners like Ramon Deckers, I kind of look up to him, even though, he's passed away. It's still his career was amazing. He had fantastic techniques and a great, amazing run of fights. And the same thing could be said for other people like Stephen Thompson, who's in the UFC now. His kickboxing career was outstanding, and you can learn a lot from it. So I think it's a little weird to ask like to answer that question because there's so many people that I look at that I'm like, okay, this guy's really good, this guy's really good. I want to learn from both of them. I want to learn why they got where they were at.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I completely get it now. You can definitely look up to like different people who engage in the same like sport that you do, and then you also have like those who you relate to like on a personal level who are there to teach you and kind of like push for you to be better. And along with that, I also wanted to know, well, combat sports is very physical. You have to train a lot, be in a good physical state to be able to compete. But I have heard, and I also think that it is a very mental sport. So you need to be on a like in a good mental state to be able to perform 100%. What can you say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a good mindset going into this stuff. I started out my amateur like combat sports career on two losses. And I was like, oh, great. Going into my third fight, I was like, if I lose, I'm done. But I wound up winning. And once you win once and you know what it's like, you can use that to keep pushing forward. Even if you lose again right after that one, you're like, It's no problem. We keep going. And you just build that resiliency as you train, as you lose in certain situations. Like when you're at training and you just get beat up, you're like, you got to go back the next day. You got to go back the next day and the next day and the next day. So that's where the mental resiliency comes in.
Yes, and it's really important to not only know how to win and how to like throw punches, but also be able to receive them and know how to stand up. And I think that's great. Being resilient is very important, especially when it comes to something so tough. I wanted to know if you've found that these skills that you have learned by taking part of this sport have helped you in maybe other aspects of your life.
Yeah, I mean, when I was training during COVID, that was a very depressing time. You can't go anywhere, you're locked down. You have, maybe a roommate or something to talk to, but being able to go and train and actually kind of move around and work with other people in close proximity, it really helped keep my head over, above the depression line, if that makes sense. And this sort of stuff really does bring a different type of like joy for people who train in it. And I think that's where that resiliency builds. Is like as you do it, you become more proud of yourself because you can do it. You meet other people, you get a chance to push your body to the absolute limit. And not a lot of people get to do that. So when they do get to do it, builds up that resiliency really high.
Yeah, and I think that with what you mentioned, like it also builds like a great sense of community. Um, Now that you mentioned like the fighting during COVID, I wanted to know how was that like? Like I'm betting that there were a lot of limitations maybe to be able to get from like point A to point B and like train with other people. But how did you like confront that?
We had a couple fights booked during COVID that eventually just fell through, but my first one, it was outside. People weren't really like they were supposed to social distance, but they didn't. It was towards the end of the lockdown, so everybody started easing up a little bit. But it was just a normal show up, do your thing, get out. Even post COVID, with when they kept recommending social distancing, people were still sitting right next to each other in the crowd. So it hasn't really, to me, it didn't change anything. To other people, it might have, but to me, it was like my first two fights were COVID and like right at the end of COVID and then post COVID.
Yeah, and now that we have the Battle of Tampa Bay coming up, um, I guess with your experience, you already know a little bit about what to expect. So I wanted to know what you think. Like, what are you expecting for this fight?
Um, Same thing, man. Me and my opponent, we're gonna get in the ring. We're gonna do what we got to do. We either win or we lose. And at the end of the day, as long as we all have fun and we get to at least show off a little bit while we're doing it, it's gonna be a good day, good evening, good week, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and how have you been preparing for this fight?
The same as I always do. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm eating healthy. I'm not trying to change anything up too much, just because I'm not going to change the formula that's working. What's working for me will continue to work, and then we make adjustments after every fight as to what to change. So, like things that didn't work, we're like, hey, we're going to do this instead, and then we add it to the regime.
And what can we, as the audience, expect from you at the Battle of Tampa Bay?
Oh, that's hard to say. It's going to be a fun fight. I think it's going to be a very good back and forth. Definitely a little bit more technically sound than I think most fights. A lot of amateurs get a little crazy. All of my fights turn into generally pretty good technical exchanges and good, solid, like fundamental work, which is nice.
Yeah, and kind of to close up, a lot of people competing, this is like their first fight or one of their first competitions. What advice do you have for like new fighters that are just getting into the sport and kind of trying to like find their place in it?
Don't think too much. That's really it. If you overthink when you're in there, you're gonna you're gonna slow down. Like you got to go in there and just trust all the training you did, trust everything your coaches gave you, and you'll be fine.
Great. That was amazing. I just wanted to give you a little space now to invite everyone to come see you at the Battle of Tampa Bay. So if you have any words for our public, this is your moment.
All right, guys. Hey, St. Pete, Hilton, let's go. America versus Germany. Let's rock down. Let's have some fun, and let's get some drinks after. Everybody, let's go get drinks, good food. May 10th. Bite down, chin down, throw down. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Gaelen. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.